Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the Aegis Executioners League. My name is Tokubi, and joining me once again is DBZ Freak. And how are you doing today?
I'm hearing you twice. It's great.
We forgot to mute on Discord, so
I
apparently we're
definitely
talking
forgot to be
doubly.
on. Yeah, I'm done. All good, all good. We're done. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. We're starting out just fine. Everything is good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AEL. It is week 2 of AEL. We had some banger matches last week. If you remember, it was a 2-0 last week, but now we're here for another series. Unless you watched us on Monday, then that was on 3 games. But we're here for a different thing. This is Team Pengu versus Silversong Fruits. So that is what the matchup for today is going to be. Both teams coming off of a loss last week. Pengu going to 3 games, however. So both these teams are going to be vying for a win today as we take a look at the rosters. And just real quick, I'm going to start at the support role because Chong is going to be supporting for Mental Like today. But other than that, it's the same across the board. Cosmic Sheepo in the top lane, Anti-Faker in the jungle, Go-Go Scorp in the mid lane, and Chicken Bomba, even though they're probably not going to play Gragas, in the bottom lane role. But as you see the score above, they won one of their games last week. So this could be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to come down to it. But another interesting thing to talk about before we do head in, we're still early weeks, so a lot of these power rankings are going to be based off that original group draw. And Team Pengu was scored the lowest in terms of those points. By a significant margin, too, I might add. But, I mean, you never know. These teams can definitely play well together. And those points are exclusively from solo queue ranking, as far as I'm aware. And I know there's a lot of teams out there that, in terms of solo queue, they either don't perform too well or they just don't care to really improve their solo queue. But in terms of team play, in terms of custom scrims and just practice, they can still come out firing. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to be able to see from Team Pengu. But now, the other roster that we have today is going to be the Silversong Fruits. We have the small nut in the top lane, Winter in the jungle, Texter in the mid lane, Alaver in the bot lane, and Griffin on support. And as you can see over at the top, they did go 0-1 for their match last week, and they did lose both maps as well. So both of these two teams, they definitely want to try and get a win for themselves, but it's just going to really depend on how they're able to play today and how they're able to take down the other teams today. But looking at these two rosters, and I know we don't have too much information on them yet, but DBZ Freak, before everything gets started, what are your predictions for tonight?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not entirely sure because I was looking through the match histories of these two teams from last week, and Pengu in particular, a lot of their games looked like they came down to their junglers. Like, if their jungler would pop off, then the rest of the team would as well. But if their jungler didn't do so hot, then, they would kind of falter and fall behind. So I'm wondering if they're going to prioritize jungle early in that way so they can also, draft accordingly to set up the rest of their lanes. As we're getting started on the bans right now. Oh, we have a classic off of the ban phase. We have Zoe, Lulu, Pantheon on the blue side, which, by the way, Pengu's on the blue side. Fruits is on my bad on that side, actually. And on the other side, we have the Elise, Bard, and Syndra taken off the table. So the classic, probably AD carry first pick or jungle first pick. That's kind of one of the two things that we could potentially see.
Yep,
so it's going to be the Jinx is going to be picked up. Shocker. Is anyone shocked? No, AD carry is like the prime first pick nowadays, which is really funny because those of you old heads from when, bans were changed to what they are now, it would be like mid and support would go first, and then it kind of just weirdly ADC is a broken role. Anyway, so on the other side of the map, we do have the Xin Zhao coming out, and the Caitlyn as well. So honestly, the Caitlyn makes sense. It's a range advantage against the Jinx. My only thing is if this Jinx pops off, Caitlyn is going to be not having a great time into a Jinx that is kind of spitting rockets at you every half a second. So it's not going to be fun. But with that, I imagine we'll probably answer with a support and a jungler coming off the table as well. Since Zhao, typically you'll see things like Vi into it. That's one of the picks. Maokai sometimes as well. Maybe even as far as goodness, I'm not sure who would actually be. But we're getting the Ivern actually.
That's an interesting pick there.
That's a complete left turn. So we're drafting a Save the Jinx comp or set up for Jinx rather, and Vex also makes sense as well. Getting those massive fears off also has a lot of burst as well, and whoever's low, Jinx can just clean up anyways, which I'm surprised they're pushing support down this far, but maybe they were anticipating Vex to get banned away in phase 2, and it's gonna be the classic Caitlyn Lux, or Caitlyn Morgana. Those kind of matchups are a nightmare for anyone that plays against it, because once that root lands, you're just gonna get CC'd to death. So really strong draft, I think, coming out of Fruit so far. I'm really curious where Team Pengu is going to go further into this draft.
Yeah, I mean, one thing they are lacking right now is a more consistent engage. Vex can kind of go in, but you never want your Vex to really be the one starting fights. Same with Ivern, has that root, but I would like to see something tanky, something for them that can frontline. Daisy, again, can help a little bit, so it doesn't need to be like a full true tank. Just something that can stand on the front line. And we saw Braum getting banned away with and Leona as well. Both of those would have been fantastic options for Team Pengu, but they still have a few options available. They could go through the support role if they want to get tanks. They can go Nautilus, but to be completely honest, I think I would prefer seeing something maybe like the Ornn in the top side. Just any kind of engaged tank in top. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but an Enchanter in the bot lane. Because I think there's a lot of value when you stack enchanters with the Jinx. I think the Jinx becomes very difficult to kill. Caitlyn can technically go Serpent's Fang, so can Xin Zhao, but neither one really wants to go it. So even if you force them onto that item, it will have good value, but it's not going to be good for the character themselves.
I'm kind of cooking in my head right now. Now, I don't know if this is going to come true at all. Based off the Malphite and Kled bans alone, my brain is saying, what if we pick something like, that's a Lux mid. Okay, yep. That's fair. Which actually makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, because Lux into Vex is actually an ideal matchup, because Lux has a range advantage over the Vex. I actually just played this matchup recently, and you just have to play her range, know when her passive is stacked. You just don't have to get close to her, and you can trade really effectively. Rel. And there's the engage you were talking about, so there's the Rel, which is honestly just the primo engage anyways. That champion is very, very strong, despite, actually getting nerfed a couple of times in recent times. Now, with these two top lane bans, with the Malphite and the Kled, that implies to me that either we want to pick something like Cassante. Garen is also a hilarious possibility. Another one is also, I don't know why I'm having Darius in my head, but that's because of the Kled anti-heal, which is why I'm thinking we're maybe going to aim for something that can heal a lot. And there's Aatrox. Speaking of champions that can heal a lot, Aatrox also as well. So that will be the lock for Team Pengu. And obviously Fruits will get the counter pick. With that, that could be literally anything they can run to break. Jax is open if they want to go for that skill matchup. Fiora is another spicy skill matchup if they want to go for it. Not likely, but my monkey brain is like, we should definitely lock in Fiora right now, because it would be a lot of fun to watch. But probably not going to go for that. I could see Camille being an option, actually. But we might have a tank instead. Or Mbessa. Okay, Mbessa pretty much also like Fiora and Aurelia in her own stupid and crazy ways. So we have a full picture of what we're looking like for the drafts right now. And I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to start with Team Pengu on this side first. So with what I'm seeing currently from this team, I'm seeing a lot of I think there's burst, but more like sustained fighting, because Jinx obviously is gonna, when she has a lot of time, is gonna be able to smoke through this team, because there's really no real tank on the side of Silversong Fruits right now. And Bessa's gonna get to an annoying point, sure, and then Xin Zhao ultimate, really the Crescent Guard's all he's gonna have. Now, if this is anything like what I saw Velia do earlier today and rush that Titanic Hydra to get through some of that extra chunk damage, then maybe this could be a problem. But other than that, there's not a lot of for sure targets for Silversong Fruits, because really if the fear is up from Vex, she can just disengage that a little bit. You really have to kind of full send it onto the Jinx, but that's going to be incredibly hard for Silversong to do.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of defense for Chicken Bomba. They have Anti-Faker on the Ivern. They have kind of that front line as well, coming in with the Rel in the support role. And then Cosmic Sheepo as well can come in through the side. I mean, there's just a lot of safety. And like you mentioned, the fear as well. And they don't have a tank. That is definitely an issue, but they are also lacking a little bit of engage. All they really have is the Audacious Charge, kind of. coming in from the Xin Zhao. And then from the Ambessa, the public execution. That's really it. But I think with the amount of peel they have, with the amount of shielding they can bring, Chicken Mama shouldn't be too threatened.
No.
But one potential issue they do have, and one way Silversong Fruits can play this, is just play that range game. They have so much range in their 2 carries, and maybe they can just slowly but surely poke them out.
Definitely with you on that one. So it's going to be a very spicy game 1. Both these teams are going to be vying for a win, and that is no understatement. I think Team Pengu is going to be itching just as much, especially because they were so close to winning their series last week. They're going to definitely want that back. Both these comps have the chance to do that. In terms for Team Pengu, they just need to play their cooldowns better because there's so much range, like you said, that Silversong Fruits has. You have the Caitlyn and the Lux in Bessa when she presses R, so granted, you know, once she gets in your face, it's like you better absolutely peel for everybody in your team or she's going to kill everybody. So the small nut is going to be looking to get towards this backline. Cosmic Sheepo is going to have the chance to do that on this Aatrox. It's going to be very, very fun to see where these 2 top laners are going to go. The jungle matchup is going to be interesting, I say, because Xin Zhao is mainly going to be farming a lot, and I can foresee a universe where Anti-Faker has the advantage because he's able to invade Xin Zhao. Assuming we have Prio in mid and bot, then maybe we'll see that kind of invade. Typically, you'll see the Ivern start red side and then walk over to the enemy blue buff and take that whole area as well. So if this all goes according to plan for the side of Team Pengu, they can definitely take this game. Silversong Fruits, they just have to play the extended fights and extended games into there. And man, gotta say, we're in for a pretty spicy night.
Yep, it's going to be a very spicy night, but we're just going to be going through the bans and picks in the in-game client, and then there's also going to be the 3 minutes of spectator delay. So because of that, we're going to go to a short break, but once we come back, we're going to have game 1 between Team Pengu and Silversong Fruits. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And here we are with week 2 of the Aegis Executioners League. Both teams have loaded in and are immediately going to a 5-point defense. And once again, it is going to be Team Pengu versus Silversong Fruits. So going to be a pretty fun one today. And what are your thoughts on the Ghost coming in from Caitlyn, DBZ Freak?
I'm not surprised. That's mostly because she wants to full send it forward, and with Lethal Tempo, she's gonna want to be able to get stay in range to stack her headshot. So I kind of understand. Now I get what you're also saying as well, because the cleanse would be great here because you have the chompers, you have Rel existing as the the pelt of the Peacemaker go over the wall. We'll get a little bit of chunk damage on the Chong there, but they'll just walk it off and walk themselves in the lane. But there's a lot of CC on that side, so I can foresee things going a little bit weirdly if things go all according to plan. So we're getting some nice little bit of push control here as the classic should happen. Chong will have to W out of there. I believe it's the round W. Anyways, so slight advantage right now to the side of Fruits. They have the double range bot lane, so they should get some pretty decent poke down. And from there, I don't know like what their game plan is. My assumption is with where Winter is to play for bot, which makes sense. But the problem is it looks like his bot lane's going to have push, so maybe it's just opening up for early Drake and then rotating up later in the game for Grubs. So as this plays out, we'll get a nice, better idea of where this could possibly go. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, as I've always said, the teams will usually always just feel each other out for the first like few minutes of the game, and that's when the chaos begins. So this could be a lot of good fun stuff for this early game.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what's really fun to watch is we know that there's going to be an advantage for the Caitlyn in the bot lane, but Chicken Bomba only now got their first CS, had to wait for it to crash in and all that. And one interesting thing that you have talked about is Winter potentially playing for the bot side. It is doable. They could even just do a quick clear and reset. I think both of them are pretty valid options. I mean, this bot lane is going to have priority basically the entire lane phase. That's kind of why you pick the Caitlyn. It makes it a lot easier to just be able to hold the area entirely. And it looks like in the top side, the small nut now starting to trade pretty heavily into Cosmic Sheepo, but both are going to end up just a little bit over half HP. Now, at the same time, with Saucy Hunt starting to roam down to the bot side, maybe they could look to turn Chung someone looking for a play, and is actually going to flash in. The crash down not going to be coming through. The Shattering Strike hit onto Griffin, and 2 summoners are going to get used, but no kill's going to come through. But now Cosmic Sheepo getting jumped upon as well. Flash forced out, and the flash traded back, so it's going to be first blood going over, but it's actually traded. The Swanna died under tower, and Aelivor going to get hit by the zap, so Chicken Bomba is actually going to get the first kill, and that's what Team Pengu needed. They needed that jungle intervention in the bot lane.
And that's where the punishment of not having cleanse has come in, because that exhaust could have been gotten out of if that was available. So interestingly enough, with those 2 kills, one went over up in the top side. It was a 1-for-1 at the end of that, which makes sense. The small net kind of greeted a little too far under tower for the kill. But overall, the Jinx getting a kill is absolutely massive. That puts her a little bit ahead of the Jinx, makes this bottom lane a little bit easier, so it makes her, accelerate towards that tailwind. It looks like that Aelivor is going to go for the call after that exchange, which makes sense. It's a nice chunk of gold later on. Well, junglers are here on the top side, actually, and they should be aware of this. We're actually going to have a play.
It looks like they're both willing to take that 2v2 as Cosmic Sheepo jumping in, looking towards Winter now, and they are going to be able to find the root, and now Winter down to half HP, just getting poked away, but neither one's really full committing yet. They're going to have all the Qs coming through, and all 3 are going to land. The small nut got to go down, and that's Feats of Warfare going the way of Team Pengu.
I hadn't even mentioned the Feats of Warfare as of yet, and they just go ahead and claim it right off rip. So that's 2 kills now on it to this Aatrox. So Team Pengu off to a really good start of this early game, and both junglers just happen to conveniently be on the top side. So nice little counter gank there from Saucy, ended up helping Aatrox secure the kill. And one of the things that don't matter if you have range is if you have a really fit Aatrox on your face. So that is a nice little thing that they'll have to keep in mind now. In the bottom lane there, we got the Rel coming. Mind you, no flash, so this is very doable if they land.
Yeah, the crash down's gonna be coming through. Shattering Strike gonna land as well. Do they have the DPS now? Because Aelivor is still kind of backing away. The zap is going to get dodged out. And now Chunks are going to be able to throw them back down. And Aliver has nowhere left to go. That's going to be another kill for Chicken Bomba. And now another Shattering Strike. Going to get hit onto Griffin. And would they get excited? The passive just is not strong enough there. So another kill going the way of Team Pengu. And now Tector forced to flash away. Just seeing Saucy Hut is enough to force that summoner out.
Okay, so that is a 2-0 Jinx on our screen right now. Chicken Bomba feeling very good about where they are right now. The ultimate just came out. Will not be able to secure that kill. Just not enough damage as of yet. When that last chapter comes through, I almost said Last Whisper for some reason. But when that Lost Chapter comes through, I play a lot of Lux. I have played a lot of Lux. Once you get Lost Chapter, you can pretty much one-shot people with that combo. So I think that Gogo will have to keep that in mind going forward, as this Lux is going to get stronger and stronger. So they were forced to back there, did not have the TP, so forced to walk all the way back to lane. Meanwhile, we got some pings right now onto the Dragon, so I'm assuming we're doing that right now. In fact, we are, but they could get collapsed on here. This is very doable for Team Pengu. I don't think they might do just that. They see the Iron Brush that was put in the pit, so
Tector
kind of getting it off. What is this TP? What is this TP?
This is Tector gonna get rooted up and immediately into the zap, crash down to follow, and just immediately gonna go down. One more auto needed, but that's going to get Chicken Bomba excited. Now Winter dying in the backline. Gogo Scorp able to go in, and now it's just gonna be Aliver with the follow-up ulti. Another double kill going the way of Gogo Scorp. And just like that, it's a 3-0 for Team Pengu, and they're going to be able to take the Dragon for themselves. They are looking really good in this game number 1.
That was a very questionable TP. I'm not going to lie to you. Very questionable. Tector just kind of TP'd to their death there, and it was just all curtains from there. So they lose a bunch of kills. They got the Dragon. Not really too much else to say after that play. It's just Fruits were not in a position to where they could fight that. And they're falling further and further behind. Your 80 carry now is 0 and 3. So this Caitlyn has been pressed into the dirt. Now, it will take some time for her to come back online. They just, right now, just don't fight. Now, the consequence to everything that's been going on thus far, because I said earlier in the game that the game plan should be your bottom lane, your Caitlyn Nami is going to have prio because of the range to match up into, melee matchup. So they should be able, to get prio so that way we can get this first streak. That failed. Now, again, they have no more prio now because they got pushed in. They're not going to prio for these grubs that are spawning in 4 seconds. As you can see, the bottom lane for Team Pengu is moving up that way. So, I mean, this should just be a free Void Grubs for them. I don't think we're going to see a contest at all. The bottom lane should have been spotted with that vision plan. Yeah, there shouldn't be much out of this. Your bot lane is not coming. You should just give this up. And that should, theoretically, be 3 Grubs that goes over to Team Pengu.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting whatever they want off the map right now. And they're even going to send Cosmic Shibo down to the bot lane. And Aliver finally had a chance to gather some CS. And in fact, getting a decently solid lead there. Because right now, actually with a outer surge coming in, Tector is going to be the target. Most of the HP already gone. Zap not going to get hit. And now they're looking towards Winter, and they're able to get the root and the crash down. They're able to buy a little bit of space for now. And with the flash, with the Crescent Guard, this is going to be enough for Winter to back away. And actually, Chong forced to flash away from the final spark as well. As now Cosmic Shibo almost gets the pullback onto Aliver. That would have been really scary for that Caitlyn.
Honestly, I respect it. I respect Gogo for going in like that. Doesn't have the damage, though, to one-shot the Lux. Not yet, anyway, so both these mages are going to be very, very deadly as the game goes on, which, interestingly enough, I had said earlier, too, that, Gogo, was getting bullied in lane a little bit, but was able to, circumvent that by getting those 2 kills from that dragon fight from earlier. So, if I had to assume what the gold leads are, I mean, it's obviously almost 2,500. It is almost 2,000 rather. My math is hard. Math is hard, okay? Anyone who knows math is hard understands that math is hard. When you have to actually think about exactly. If you have to actually think about numbers on stream, your brain turns off for whatever reason. But we got the Hex Flash being currently charged. Lux is on the way, so I imagine we might have a 4v2 here. This play is very doable, and it's starting.
Yeah, Chicken Bomba already down to half HP, and they're still bringing forward. Tidal Wave gonna come out over top. Chicken Bomba should be able to get away with the flash. but Chong is going to be left out to dry, and the 3-town strike going to be enough. And Aliver finally going to be on the board, gets that first kill for themselves, and is also up 20 CS. There's now the small nut. Infernal Chain's going to get the pullback, but it doesn't seem like they're going to have any follow-up for it.
Good roam there by Tector. They had no vision except in that tri-bush. That pink ward is now gone. So now that that they had no vision, you know, Lux was like, okay, I'm going to sack this wave. We're going to make a play on the bottom lane. We need to do this right now so that way we can have at least something. Gold lead now is 1,000. That kill going to Caitlyn is crucial because if this Jinx starts out-damaging her, which is going to be the case with the gold lead that she currently has. Actually, I lied. Maybe not because... Caitlyn's almost up 30 CS, so maybe it's like the gold lead's a lot closer than I thought it was by the looks of it. Oh,
600 in the lead for Aliver.
What do I know? Okay, so Caitlyn's ahead, so never mind. Your Caitlyn's fine, I guess. She's just ahead in gold, just been bullied, which obviously is the gameplay. Now, like I said at the top of the day, actually, was Team Pengu usually plays through their bottom lane. They had a couple of kills, you know, go there. And I said that Saucy usually needs to get their team going in order for them to succeed, and that's what we're seeing right now. They're up 1,000 gold. They're in a good position for this next streak in 35 seconds. They're in a good spot because they got the grubs as well. So I mean, they already should get feats if they get this next streak because they're on the 2 monster slaying one right now. So if they can secure that, get those feats, and I think that's pretty much a near picture perfect early game for them as they're gonna be making a play now.
Chong gonna get the crash down, but they're kind of on separate targets. Shadow Surge is gonna go wide. Saucy Hunt now looking. They're able to get the Rude Collar and the Zap over top. Final Spark though, gonna take down Saucy Hunt. And now they have the Crescent Guard on to Winter. Shattering Strike is going to land, and they're able to get some follow-up damage, but not enough to get the kill yet. But now Texture will land losing Binding. Ace in the hole as well. Griffin somehow gets the last hit, but that Chicken Bomb gone. Next Shattering Strike is going to go wide. Crash down as well. And Gogo Scorp does have the Doom and Gloom, so they're going to be able to back away, but huge play coming out of Fruits. That's a 2-0 for them.
A huge play or a huge mistake coming out of Team Pengu. Our Rel went over the wall, and then our Ivern was separated from the rest and absolutely got blown up, but they're not done.
Another losing Binding. It looks like they want to go on a Tector. Shattering Strikes is there as well, but the bubble looking towards Chung Stumble, but Chung is not the target. Gogo Scorp is, and now another Final Spark just needs the auto and will be able to get it. Another double kill going over to Tector.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. Winter was off doing the Drakes. So I was like, yeah, guys, go fight. And I guess they felt strong enough to do it. I mean, Lux still had the Final Spark, but granted, that cooldown's like 62 seconds level 1 anyways. But they get another couple of kills. 2 kills over to the Jinx as well. Up 700 gold now on this Lux. So Tector is feeling really good about where this is going. And we have
swung the gold lead in favor of Silversong Fruits, in case anyone's wondering.
So with that, I mean, I guess I caster cursed it because I was like, hey, Team Pengu's got a really perfect early game if they go for this streak, and then they make that play. So now they know that they have to get first tower here in order to like stop the feats from going over.
Oh, but the Shadow Surge is gonna be coming in. Not enough damage to get the kill, but has been able to keep the tower alive for now. But I don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep it because the plates are about to go down. Just 20 seconds left, and they should be able to just get this first turret on this next wave. Aliver and Griffin should still be safe, but they're a little bit worried. They're just going to recall. So for now, first turret is still available for both these two teams. And again, as a reminder, the Feats of Warfare currently is on the side of Team Pengu. So even if they do lose the first turret, they're not necessarily going to be losing out on the feats. But now the Small Nut going to be the next target. Rude Collar not going to land. So Small Nut just able to jump and skip away.
All they got to do is just not allow this Rift Herald to go over, and then it's 2 for 2 in terms of monster slaying. So very interesting things are happening. Now, in terms of who's in a stronger position, if you look your eyes to the lower right to right now, you see a Tailwind's completely done for the Caitlyn. If you look to your left, Chica does not have an item yet. So that is a stronger Caitlyn as we're getting the ultimate out as the combo of the ulti and from the Final Spark from the Lux as well. Does go short, but that chunks Chicken out just a little bit there. Now, they might make a play here as Daisy is summoned up.
Yeah, they look towards Winter. They're going to get the Shattering Strike crash down as well. Tidal Wave to counter, and now Winter could go back in. 3-town strike is on a Chong, but neither side's really willing to full send yet. Now Shadow Surge is still on cooldown, but it's almost back up. And the small nut could be the next target. Tector is still in the bot. They know TP. They're able to land the root collar. And now this could be the target. They have the doom and gloom. And Cosmic Sheepo going to get that kill. And with that, they should have control of the area. They should be able to take this Herald. But right now, Aeliver is still pushing down mid lane, having a lot of control. Shadow Surge not going to be in range.
Did that not hit?
No, it was out of range.
Oh, I thought it hit a minion. Well, it actually goes through minions, but I was like, what? That didn't hit, but it was just barely out of range. But the Rift Herald is going to be taken. So that is the feats of strength now completed for the side of Team Pengu. About time, to be honest with you. It was a little awkward getting there, but but I digress. Tower is going to fall. The bot lane tower fell earlier as well, so they have 2 towers to 0 right now. The gold lead is 2,000 in favor of Fruits. What's coming off the towers. Also those extra kills from earlier. Also the almost gargantuan CS lead in the bottom lane. It's 1,000
and in the
1,400 in the mid lane as well. So both these players absurdly ahead of their opponents right now, and that's gonna start being a little bit painful for the side of Pengu as the game goes on. But I guess when you lose track of like CSing and you try to kind of keep fighting, which is what Pengu were doing for a hot second, and they were not able to farm really either, so they just were kind of put on the back foot from the, I don't want to say from the jump because they were ahead for a little bit, but bottom lane in particular was put on the back foot from the start because, like you said, the Chicken did not get their first CS until the wave had crashed into their tower, and that was like 2-3 minutes by that point. So they were just been behind like most of this game, but they're only 20 CS down now. It will be easier now once they finish that. Are we doing it? We're stopping the back. But once they finish that Yuntal, it'll be a little easier to CS, and Jinx will catch back up. But for now, just Team Pengu have to play it a little slow. They can give up this next Drake. It's only the second Drake of the game. It's an Infernal Soul that is on the map right now. So they don't really need to fight this. They can, let this Jinx get a little bit stronger. She's behind on the Caitlyn. Or I could be wrong, and we're going to go on a Nami.
Yeah, but that's going to be a pretty major cooldown used, and Go score half the HP just off the final spark on its own. But Shadow Surge being on cooldown now, that's basically going to be a big part of their combat, as now the public execution is going to land on a Cosmic Sheepo. World Ender has been popped as well, and it looks like it's just going to be a trade of ultimates, but Cosmic Sheepo does not have the HP to stay in this lane now. Will be forced to reset, and Small Nut could start threatening onto this turret as well.
I think you just give this turret up, if I'm being honest with you. But you have Ivern in your back pocket right now, so I think that Saucy is going to make sure that this push can't happen. Back up the Aatrox when necessary. Just did get pinged out just now. They will lose the Drake on the other side of the map, which, like I said, they don't need to fight for it right now. They should just leave it alone, keep farming up, not take any engages that they don't need to. And they did just that. They're farming it up a little bit more. Winter could potentially have a flank here. They don't have a ward over the wall, but could do something cheeky. No, not going to. Looks like that Caitlyn is going to be finishing, or going back rather, and finishing on another item component. I'm assuming it's IE, which would make a lot of sense. It's going for the Infinity Edge second. You'd see, yep, like clockwork, going for that BF sword. Interesting time we got coming on here. I mean, the early game was all in favor of Team Pengu. Then that massive mistake before that second Drake happened flipped the gold lead, and it's been kind of the Silversong Fruit show since then.
Yeah, and it's also important to know Team Pengu actually lost a lot of gold going for those grubs. They sent Chicken Bomb up there. They sent really the whole team up to the top side. Cosmic Sheepo was the only one farming, and Cosmic Sheepo was trying to farm into Aeliver. And anyone who's played into ranged matchups in the top lane know that's not something you have fun laning into. And that's kind of when that big CS lead really started growing for Aeliver, because Aeliver managed to get some plates, managed to get, I think it was 4 uncontested waves.
Yeah.
And Chicken Bomb, was just hitting grubs. And I mean, at some point, you got to realize that they're already given up on grubs. They're just giving it to you, and you just have to let your AD carry go back into the wild and farm.
So, a lot of ticks on that health bar for that Mbessa, with only an Eclipse and a Ruby Crystal, mind you. So that girl is going to be a little annoying to deal with. Granted, Cosmic Sheepo is 3-1. Is going to be a pretty force to reckon with later in this game. Just kind of keeps up what they're doing. They're only down a little bit in CS with those 3 kills. It's not really mattering that much because of that. But you see this trading right here. It's just Embessa's just able to do so much with her kit and just dish out so much damage.
Oh, but the Shadow Run is going to hit on a Tector, and that's going to be the flash forced out, but Goloscorp almost gets taken down in reply. That Light Binding Final Spark combo is just so powerful right now. However, next time, if they're able to land that Shadow Surge on a Tector, that would be a guaranteed kill without the flash. But, I mean, it's really whoever catches who first at this point.
Yeah. But hey,
hey,
bring your attention to mid lane. I'm going to ignore Rift Herald, but never mind. Hold up, flash for flash. But if you bring your attention to the mid lane right now, that was tier 2 falling for that Caitlyn. So lots more solo going on. We do have the bot lane tier 1 falling in response. That was a fat emote. Never seen that before. Thank you, Riot Games, for that. But there's the Luxalt again.
Oh, but now they're gonna be fighting. Winter actually gonna go in with the audacious charge. And they're just aiming towards Saucy Hunt, and that's just going to be a free kill. Now, Chicken Bomba going to get hit by another audacious charge. Goloscorp is here, and they have so much burst damage. Now the Goloscorp has arrived. And now Chong Selmo going to be the next target, and it looks like they're just going to be leaving him. And Chong will go down as well. So it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Silversong Fruits once again.
Hey,
and Otacon is here
pushing.
if they want it.
Hey, Rift Herald just charged into tier 2. We just kind of ignored Rift Herald in case anyone's wondering. So that got the free charge onto the tier 2. Cosmic Sheepa almost going down here. Again, that's that Embessa damage is what she does. And you're just not able to really trade onto her as HR. So once your cooldowns are down, she has like 19 more cooldowns ready to go because resets are a thing that she can have for some reason. Thank you, Riot Games.
Public execution
missed. So we'll be lucky to survive that one. I think Cosmic Sheepa just dies there if that hits. So able to survive. Had flash anyways, so woo! It's getting tense. But I like I said, I mean, while they were making that play on the bottom side, and while they almost killed Gogo almost killed Tector there, but the flash for flash at the end of the day, Aliver was just in mid lane, just like, yep, I'm just gonna smack the tower now. No one's gonna stop me. All right, no one's stopping me. That was 700 gold that they just got off of that. They have 2 items now. I think they got their ID just a little bit ago.
Chong getting hit once again. The bubble gonna get dodged away. Luckily, they do have those chompers there, those flame chompers, just preventing the follow-up. But could have been another dangerous space to be in. And I gotta say one thing, because the Malignance is done right now for Tector. That's gonna be 2 full items, getting close to a third. But just look at that cooldown bar move whenever Tector uses that final spark. It's basically just doing a full spin. I've seen loading screens be slower than that, as a Shadow Surge once again aiming towards Tector and not going to land. And once again, that's going to be a big ultimate that's not going to be available for the start of this dragon fight.
But we're going to get TP right now from the Embessa, so we could be about to 1v9 right now. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, but Song Trouble gonna be going in, gets a Magnetstorm on it too, and now they're trying to follow up, but they just don't have the damage yet. But right now, Small Dot gonna be next target. Get excited, now gonna be used. Chicken Bomba looking to follow up, able to get another one. And just like that, they got 2. Winter is gone. And I guess it doesn't matter how strong the Abyss is, how many dashes you have, if you can never use a single ability before going down.
It was a good CC lockdown, so we're going to get the Caitlyn ultimate. Will deal some pretty decent damage. That Lux ultimate is available right now, so the steal is possible, but it's not going to happen. So that will be the second Drake going over to the side of Team Pengu, and we're at a point where they're going to do Otacon too.
I think they can.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. They should see this now because of those minions, but it looks like that there's not going to be any sort of contest coming through. Now, here's a fun fact I want to tell you about Luxalt cooldown. Aliver's pushing mid, I guess. So are we gonna stop him? Is somebody gonna?
Chong's got it.
Okay. All right. So, little fun fact about Lux Ultimate is it gets to a point to where the cooldown is so short, it's about 30-something seconds if you build enough CDR with it. It's 26 right now, so there you go. So, if you have cooldown in the kit and in your runes as well, you can get that ultimate cooldown to be pretty much like another ability in the game. So it's pretty obnoxious. I love it. So that's pretty much the reason why Tector's spamming it like on cooldown, because has the mana to do it with the Malignance and the we're getting Magi's now. Oh, that's very interesting. But with the Malignants and the Ludens, you have extra mana, so you just spam that just as much as you want as the game goes on. Use it to wave clear, use it to deter people from walking into areas, use it to spot out people who are walking into areas. And honestly, Texter's been playing this pick really, really well. It's just right now, it's getting to a point where these team fights are a little weird. They're close, but they're still far enough ahead. It's mostly the Caitlyn, let's be real, but they're far enough ahead to where it's they're still in a pretty good position.
Yeah, but the match is starting to get closer and closer. There's less than 3k gold between these two teams, and that's kind of been how it's been for most of the game. So the fact that the lead isn't shrinking or growing is just kind of showing that these two teams, they are still playing very, very close together in terms of their power levels. As right now, the Baron is up, but Winter might be in the wrong area, and now they're gonna get the crash down. Shadow Surge as well, and Winter should just be going down here. Final Spark almost gonna get hit onto Chung, but Baron dealing some damage, but there is the shield coming out of Sazion. But now Cosmic Sheepo is getting so low. Aliver just needs one more hit, but instead the Doom and Gloom going to be there, and they have everything, and Chung surviving at 5 HP. That's a 2-for-0 in favor of Team Pengu, but I don't even know if they deserve that. That was so close.
No, Aliver totally greeted for that kill. I think you should have just left it alone and saved your life. Now, picking Winter there was huge. They could have turned onto the Baron, but unfortunately health bars were too low to do so. So it deters the Baron. But man, that fight was a lot closer than it should have been. It should have been a lot closer than it was. But it's just not enough damage for this Caitlyn. And then we just thought we had the damage, but I don't think we crit on the crit that we needed to go off. And that's why Aliver felt like that they had to go forward. End up sacrificing themselves as well. But my, that if things had gone a different direction, I think that would have been the closest fight of the whole game.
Yeah, without a doubt. But now it looks like they're looking to engage Winter. Gonna be coming in. Public Execution not gonna be able to land. And now TP is coming through. They have the Root Collar. They're aiming towards Small Nut, but Tidal Wave gonna get used to disengage. So lots of cooldowns used for a lot of nothing so far. And it seems like both sides are just gonna chill out, at least for now.
They want this ward so bad, but they see there's a pink in the bush. We just need to get mid lane power right now. That's all we need to do. Now the thing is we're definitely not at a point where Soul is really a threat for anybody. We're at 2-2 for Drakes. The gold lead is now like barely 1,000, if anything at all. These teams are a lot closer than they were. Of course, individual gold leads, at least in the bottom lane, is still pretty consistent. But mid lane has pretty much closed now. Only 600, so that mid lane is back, baby.
Oh, but Shadow Surge again, just out of range. But they've started the Baron.
Did they? Oh, they did. Hey, how about that? So they're doing the Baron right now, and honestly, I respect that call. Team Pengu, with there being no vision there, they actually just legit don't know. So that should be a free Baron. Now that they know it is 4,000, so there's no shot that they're going to be able to get this. This will be a free Baron. Yes, free as in F-R-E-E. That spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. A Baron buff for the side of Team Pengu.
Yeah, and I mean, that's such a really nice sneak. There is one thing, sorry, I gotta mention is because Chung, I've casted with him many a time. Chung Selmo is a caster, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes.
But if you have a Daisy, you don't need to be tanking the Baron for your team. Let Daisy tank it for you. And if you're not sure how to manage that, there's this little corner on the bottom right of Baron. If you stand there, you will always have the aggro onto yourself. Whoever's standing there, that's who's going to be hit. But now with that, Dragon is up, and it's already been started. There is the line.
Just push mid.
Yeah, it's just going to be taken for the side of Silversong Fruits, but the mid push, that's where it's really coming through. Lucid Binding is going to land. Final Spark over top, and also hits on a Chicken Bomba. But now Texter could be a little bit far up. The Root Collar is going to land. Do they have the follow-up? They have the Super Mega Death Rocket, but it's not going to be able to land. And now there's another Root Collar is going to land, but they're going to be going in. Go-Go Scorp able to get it, and now Shadow Surge, if you can go, but no, the roots are too long, the suns are too long. Probably just playing execution, going towards Small Nut. Small Nut starting to take some damage.
Oh, nice
Bubble going to land as well, and Cosmic Shivo just trying to run away with the World Ender, as now they're just going to take everyone down. Chicken Bomb is still trying to auto onto the backline, but the shield is so high. Texter helping so much, but Chicken Bomb trying to turn onto the Slux, but again, the damage just is not there. None of those crits coming out. and dodges that Lucent Binding, but it doesn't matter. The Lucent Singularity on its own can almost take down this Jinx, and Final Spark is almost off cooldown. Tector going for the blind shot and will get the snipe. Chicken Bomber will go down, and Baron doesn't matter. Now they can just completely start pushing themselves.
So the call from there from Team Pengu should have been, hey, we cannot fight for this Drake. Let's just push mid, get that tower, and back off, which is what they could have done. Instead, they get caught on the rotation, and it just goes from bad to worse. The score is 14-13 in terms of kills. Absolutely banger of a game, but unfortunately, with how much burst that Silversong Fruits have, they're just not able to sustain these fights. There's not much healing on the other side either. Sure, you could argue Ivern, but in terms of like the shield, you know, giving everyone a little bit of healing, blah, blah, blah. Aatrox has his own healing. But, I mean, once you get bursted out, you can't really participate in these fights. So, I think that's really well played. And like I said, and even you said too, like during the draft, that like Silversong Fruits, all they have to do is just play the range game, and that's pretty much what they've been doing, and they've been doing it pretty successfully. Granted, Winter sometimes just go in, kind of full sends it, and that's okay. The rest of the team will follow up anyways. But I think that was the plan all along with these comps. They would rather just be like, hey, Caitlyn, Lux, don't do anything. Stay back there. Xin Zhao is like, I'm going in, baby. And the rest of the team just follows up. And they've played these fights really, really well.
Hunt?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks like Saucy Hunt is going to get jumped upon. Will flash away and actually survives. I'm a little bit surprised about that, but TP coming in from Tector. Final Spark is available, but not going to go for that blind shot. So Saucy Hunt will be able to reset. Not even going to get punished for it either, as Griffin was almost there in time to cancel that recall, but both sides going to be okay. But I mean, with these team comps the way they are, like you said, there's just a lot of range on the side of Fruits. Send one Lucent Binding, that's a kill. Basically on whoever they hit it upon. The damage from Tector and Aliver following over top is more than enough for it. And now they're going to start sieging onto these inhibitors, as just slow pushing is really starting to add up. A Chunk Double. Shadow Surge not going to land, so that's a major cooldown off. Tidal Wave now going to get used, and Winter flashing in, looking for the play. Public Execution as well, but now they have the Magnet Sword, but it doesn't matter. It looks like all the damage is there, but Chingabama finally starting to get some DPS going, and Tector gonna get the snipe, but it doesn't matter. Chicken Bomba also gonna go down as well, and it's just gonna be the tree left. Saucy Hunt, the final survivor, as they're pushing in with 4, and they're gonna look to end the game here. Saucy Hunt is the AP build, maybe with a some kind of snipe could try and make something happen, but right now doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Fruits, they're gonna be able to win game number 1, and they're gonna get their first win of the season.
Okay, nice. They win their first game of the season, like you said. Team Pengu played the first, like, I think I want to say like 11 minutes of the game fine, and then just massive. They just kept making mistakes over and over and over, and gave this avenue to Silversong Fruits. Try to say that 10 times fast. Silversong Fruits, with just having better range, obviously capitalizing on those mistakes that they would make, and from there just took over the game. They swung a 2K gold lead in a matter of minutes, and then they just never let go of the gas. They just said, we're gonna put pedal to the metal and keep going. And that's exactly what happened. Granted, there was that really close fight in the river, but that was really the only time like I felt like they're like, okay, this game could definitely, you know, still go in favor of the one of Team Pengu, but unfortunately it just didn't end up that way.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me that this game really ended up being entirely based off of Shadow Surge. Because if it lands, Team Pengu wins the fight. If it misses, Silversong Fruits no longer have a threat. So they can just walk in and the game. Yeah, that's it. There were so many times where if it had just a little bit extra range, they would have won so much more fights. If it was just a little bit wider, because even in that last fight, it just barely managed to miss. Or they were barely able to sidestep it, depending on how you want to phrase it. But because it did miss, there's just not much they can do about it. And that's going to be Silversong Fruits winning game number 1.
Back to the drawing board, and we're going to have a game 2 ahead of us soon. And my assumption is, at least in terms of like draft, which we'll obviously talk about it way more when that time comes. But for draft in particular for game 2, I think what Pengu did was fine, but I think maybe a different. Obviously, the Vex wasn't a bad pick, but I think maybe something else in a little bit more, range, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to have to see once we do get into the draft. But for now, we're going to go to a short break. And when we come back, we'll be heading into the draft for game 2. So don't go anywhere.
Every time I close my eyes, a little less of you remains. I know you're slipping further from me now. Am I too far away? Tell me
Welcome back, everyone, and we are here with game number 2 between Team Pengu and Silversong Fruits. Now, we're about to head into the second draft here, and once again, for everyone who for some reason still doesn't know, it's Fearless, so those champions down below us cannot be picked. And I'm curious, DBZ Freak, do you think that's going to change the drafting strategy?
I'm gonna try to not break my monitor first, so I accidentally hit my desk.
Usually a good idea.
Yeah. So in terms of like the bans, you know, I imagine nothing will change there. But the picks, now we don't have Caitlyn and Jinx. Now Caitlyn is not typically a champion we would see in a first game of a series. It might be second or third. Also, in case anyone's wondering, sides have swapped. I keep doing it the wrong way, but we've swapped sides. But so this means we're left with still some of the premier AD carries that are open right now. It could mean that we see a Varus or a Lucian or a Jhin. Who knows? We could see any of those. But with that, I think the bans are going to mostly stay the exact same. I don't think anything different will happen. We're not going to see the Bard. We're not going to see the Elise. Things like that. It's going to be very interesting to see like what's coming into this game too, because obviously Team Pengu picked red side for the counter pick. They want the counter pick. What lane? We don't know yet. It's most likely going to be top or mid lane. So they're coming into this, you know, with a mindset. All right, now you know you're down 1-0 in the series. You know, you're down 1-0. Like, okay, you know, we could bounce back after, you know, game 1. Come back, do something kind of fun for game 2, get ourselves locked in, you know, and send us to game 3. So with that in mind, I would imagine that we have something that we're in for. It might be just something standard or meta, or it might be something really fun. These teams they tend to surprise us all the time. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But again, I'm still not talking about the bans. Nothing has changed, so I'm not expecting anything to change. But I'm curious what you think the first pick might be coming into the second game.
I still think Varus is really strong as an AD carry, and I maintain. I think picking AD carry first is usually the right call. I think we disagreed on this the other day, but I think even Misfortune is fine. First pick. No, I think that was a disagreement with Chong. That's what that was. But sorry, I cast a lot. I just forget who, what, where, when. But the important thing is, I think Misfortune is still going to be a good blind pick as well. There's a lot of setup for it, no matter what you do. But instead, it's going to be the Tristana, which it could be a flex pick as well. It is something that's picked both in the AD carry role and in the mid lane, depending on the setup. It's a very strong marksman. Can even output quite a bit of pressure in the lane as well. And in terms of scaling, this used to be by far the #1 scaling carry in the game, but even now is definitely up there. Is still going to be an absolute powerhouse.
I don't know how I feel about it though. Mostly because if we're baiting out mid lane, then you know what? Then maybe that's why we're picking this, and we're gonna flex in the bottom lane later. Or we're picking it now to go into the mid lane to kind of save our AD carry pick for later. Again, now this question might be answered by an EP jungler, because if you are planning on doing double AD carry, you should have an EP jungler online. Right now, the only one that really screams to the top of my head is Lilia right now, so maybe that is the champion that we'll go with. Looks like we're going to lock in the Amumu on the side of Team Pengu. Fun fact! That's a flex pick, so most likely in the jungle, however. But it could be support. Amumu support still is a thing, in case anyone's wondering, so it is still a viable pick. I think this is the instance where like the Misfortune you said would still come in handy, so like get that extra bit of lockdown, and then you put the Misfortune on top of it all. But Silversong, I think what they see, you know, the Mel, I think the Pengu played Mel last week. The Fury is gonna be the pick. Wow, actually, not really surprised. I'm getting a really strong jungle pick, so that probably means that this Tristana is going in the bottom lane, unless we're gonna get an AP mage in the bot lane. It could be Seraphine, maybe even Veigar, you know, something silly like that. But I would assume, because I did not see that in their bottom laners match history, so I would think this is going to be just Tristana in the bottom lane. We're going to get an AP mage in the mid lane. There's Ornn blind in early. Now, the only part that makes this not fun is if Pengu decides to slap Camille right now. That is how that will change that entire matchup on the top side.
I mean, Camille, but there's also Gwen available. I don't know if they play the Gwen, but a very, very difficult match to play. And now Gwen did get nerfed very slightly. Should still definitely come out on top in matchups like this. Those those tank matchups, Gwen loves them. So even if they're slightly weaker with a nerf, they're still going to be very solid. But Mordekaiser are also a solid pick. Can definitely get in the way, but have to be a little bit careful when you use the ultimate, because it can be just completely nullified if you use it at the same time as the Orin W. So as long as that is on cooldown, or you don't think they're going to be ready to react, that Death Realm is going to be a nightmare. That's so much stats that this Mordekaiser can steal.
Are we gearing up for a potential Yasuo or Yone pick? That is my question. There are some Yone games in there that Gogo does play. There's also a Rek'Sai game in there too, so that's very interesting. So really curious to see where this could go, because as it can be easily pointed out, that Pengu's draft has a lot of AP. Not just a lot of AP. Those are 3 AP champs we're looking at on the screen. Even, I mean, it was Leandry's first item nowadays compared to before would be straight tank. So my guess here is they're going to ban away, you know, strong AD carries, again, once again, because they haven't picked yet. Assuming this isn't Mel bottom lane. So with the Xayah being taken off the table, that makes a lot of sense. Twisted Fate also as well. Very interesting, actually, because I do believe that their mid laner is a little bit. I don't know how much, actually. But I'm still stuck on what are we going to do for Team Pengu? What AD are we going to be picking up right now? It's like I'm just locking in my head as like, could we potentially see like a Yone coming in, maybe a Talon, which would be an absolute psychopath play? Are we just gonna leave the Mel there and then pick a really strong, like hard AD carry in the bottom lane? The only one I could really think of is something like Draven, if we really wanted to go extra super spicy mode with that. Could be a lot of damage if they really wanted to, but we finished up the bans. We took away the Vayne and the Xayah for the AD carries. So I'm really curious what they're going to be doing here. This is going to be something absurdly AD that they're going to end up picking right now, I would hope. And they're going to actually wait until last, so they're going to pick Braum. So Lucian Braum potentially is an option.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I still think Misfortune is really, really good for Team Pengu.
Oh, ironically, I'm with you.
I think the bullet time just absolutely shreds. They have so much setup for it as well. They have the protection coming in from Braum, and with that auto double up auto, that basically guarantees the stun, because Braum's going to get at least one charge just to start that. So that's going to be a lot of pressure that could come in through the lane. It's going to be a lot of damage. And then one other thing I also want to bring up, Amumu's passive kind of gets glossed over often, but if you are going to be going a heavy AP composition, you want an Amumu as part of it, lowering that magic resist of whoever they end up jumping upon. But yeah, I see it. I'm very curious as well. I mean, I'm guessing at this point it is going to be the Tristana in the bot lane with the Soraka, but very interesting pick.
I don't like this is full on hater energy right now. I hate this pick, actually. I don't like this Soraka pick at all. It's going to be a Nivea in the mid lane. Okay, so obviously still a little bit of sustained damage and a lot of Zoni control as well. Again, also with the same thing with the silence, so maybe we still get that MF like you said, but with the Soraka and Sivir actually works just as well. So we're playing the long con with this game with Team Pengu. I have to say, like, the absolute long con, because Mel obviously needs time to scale. She needs a couple of items. Mordekaiser exists. Sivir needs 800 CS. Again, like I said last week, and I think even on Monday as well, Sivir needs 900 CS before she's able to do anything. Now, Team Pengu are going to have to play through this bottom lane, I think, get the Sivir ahead, because this Tristana is going to dog walk all over her if even just a moment alone. I think that's probably why the Soraka is going to be like attached to the hip, I would assume, you know, to kind of negate that a little bit. Also deny some of that burst damage that's on the other side of Team Pengu right now. Again, I still don't like this. I don't like it, but maybe fruits are cooking here, and they know something that I don't. But it's something that can provide a lot of sustain for this team. I think that maybe the plan here is, if we have just Ornn frontline, we just do all the damage we can, and then Griffin will just help us patch up from there.
Yeah, but one interesting thing about this Tristana Sivir matchup that I actually do kind of favor Sivir in this, because that spell shield is so valuable. Most of Tristana's damage comes from proccing that explosive charge. So if you're not able to get that, you can't really win in an all-in unless you're just really far ahead in terms of items. So that will add quite a bit of safety, and you're talking about that 800 CS. At the very least, the first 100 should be pretty safe for Chicken Bomba.
Yeah, true. And just having any kind of alone time just in a lane, even in a side lane, just being able to stack up those minions can prove really nice. We saw Chicken Mamba have some moments in the previous game, so is hopefully going to be able to do the same thing on this champion, on the Sivir. It's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, Aliver was having the game of their life in the previous game, just up, I think, what was it, like 2,000, 3,000 gold or something on their opponent. So if Aliver can just do the same thing they did in the previous game, then this should be pretty much fine. Winter going to be able there to set up their team, and a lot of fights are definitely going to be started off by the small nut.
Yep. So, and with that though, we are going to be going to a short break between games 1 and 2 as we wait for spectator delay and for the in-client draft. But before we do go on that, DBZ Freak, I just got to ask, do you think the bot lane is going to be the main matchup though?
No, because I'm also being very biased and more interested in this mid lane matchup, because Mel and Anivia could be a lot of fun to see. Mel can deflect Anivia's things, and that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out going into this matchup. I do think the bottom lane will get a lot of attention, obviously. I mean, it kind of did in the previous game as well, but I personally am more excited for the mid lane matchup.
All right, well, we're going to have to see which one ends up being more volatile, but with that, we are going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll be headed right into game number 2, so don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back with game number 2 between Team Pengu and Silversong Fruits. And now both sides are going to be doing some interesting things this time. Well, at the very least, Team Pengu they're sending all 5 of their members to the bot lane. And it's just Alover down there. So if they're able to get onto this Tristana, this could be a very solid start for them.
I'm a little nervous. I should spot this actually in just a second. Yep, just will walk away. Oh, we're flashing, which I find to be very interesting. Should be fine. Yeah, just will walk away. So we got the flash out of the Braum. So honestly, that's really worth it. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I think we take those.
Yeah, I mean, it also gets the start for it also forces Alover to start Rocket Jump, which I think does lower that early prio that they can get. This should mean that at the very least it is first level 2 for Team Pengu, because Sivir in general is so good at pushing. Tristana is one of the few champions that normally can match it because of that explosive charge passive, but this time around not going to be able to have it. I don't know if Chicken Bomb or Chung Selmo can really do too much because of it, but always going to be an option. But one thing I'm noticing right now in the builds that I find pretty interesting is the small nut only started with the refillable potion. And I'm assuming it's to use that Ornn passive.
I would assume so, yes. That makes the most sense to me anyways. So being able to build into something in lane is honestly really massive, and that's one of the advantages that Ornn has, particularly into a Mordekaiser. Probably going to be looking towards getting towards, or rather looking towards getting that MR just faster and quicker, so that way he's able to survive in this matchup. And if that's the case, then I think it's a really good adaptation from a small nut, or you just build Doran's shield in lane, which also works, I guess. So never mind. Our entire point was on something that could have been cool, and then small nut's like, oh hey, I need that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely increases push value. A lot of people forget, but Doran's Shield does give you flat damage onto minions with those auto attacks. Helps last hitting quite a bit. And especially when trying to get that early prio. As the Chicken Bomb getting jumped upon, the Rocket Jump is their explosive charge is as well. And it is going to go boom. And they just need one more hit. But Griffin going to be flashing in, looking for that kill. Barrier has already been proc. But I don't think Chicken Bomber really has anywhere to go. As directed camera sending us across the world. Chicken Bomba still looking to survive there, but now Griffin could be the next target, and somehow no one goes down in that exchange.
I was about to say, if you don't jump in on this Silver right now, oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly think Aliver could have got the kill. They just jumped in through the exhaust, got the kill and got out. I think that would have been fine. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Chicken, besides, Golden Force Summoners, will be able to live in that exchange. And honestly, that's good that First Blood didn't end up going over. Now, this does mean that there's no flash on your Sivir now. No barrier either. Braum Flash is going to be up in a little while, not like a couple of minutes time. But I would think that we're just going to chillax now. Both these bottom laners are going to reset, get their little bit of spending for their items. I would assume we're going to see Tailwinds, Yuntal's out of both of them as a nice little stun there. Nice little electrocute proc as well. We haven't talked about the mid lane matchup that much, actually. We've been kind of looking at the bottom.
Yes, Winter actually gonna get hit by the bandage toss, and now they're looking to follow up. Winter gonna use the flash. Is the second bandage toss available? Saucy Hunt might be in a bad spot though, but it looks like both sides are just gonna back away there before anything else comes into fruition.
Interestingly enough, I'm surprised Saucy didn't have TP yet, or not TP, Smite rather. Saucy didn't have Smite yet, so was not able to take it. But we do have supports here in the mid lane. Looks like Chong will be spotted out. Will be forced to back away. It looks like they were fighting over the scuttle.
Saucy Hunt looking towards Winter, but Cosmic Sheepo is here as well. And they're gonna be able to pull them back, but it will be secured. Another flash actually coming in. They're looking towards Winter, and this should be First Blood going up to that Mordekaiser. And I think that is an excellent choice in terms of who to receive that gold.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Little extra gold. Mordekaiser goes a long way. Team Pengu once again off to a good start. And they're good. They have good early games, I will say. Oh,
but now Cosmic Sheep could be the next target, able to pull them back, but has to flash over the wall. I mean, that's still going to be a lot of health burned though. And the small nut going to be in a very good spot in that top lane as well.
I guess we forgot about the Battle Soraka that was still on the map. Able to roam up to that top side, force the flash out of the Mordekaiser. Now that's a small advantage. Yeah, I mean, Small Net never left the top lane throughout that whole... that is some Ornn damage if I've ever seen it. Could do some pretty interesting things here. I don't think too much will come out of it, but Directed Cam is definitely having a good old time kind of directing us where to go. Does not.
Yeah, but right now
back.
they're able to land that root, and it's already going to be that rebirth. I don't think Gogoscorp has enough damage there. Just the cooldowns are not there, but going to reflect the Frostbite once again. And now flashing over top. Radiant Volley not going to be back up. Tector going to be able to get that kill in the mid lane. Anivia coming out clutch again.
That's kind of why Anivia is kind of a bait in the early game, because even if you get the passive down, wow, that was a lot of damage there. Or damage, baby. Even if you get a lot of damage down and prop that passive, assuming you have as much to, slice through that egg, you're not really making scrambled eggs with having no damage right now. And those cooldowns are so long at this point in the game, they were not able to secure that kill. Now we are getting the TP over towards this Drake. Braum is trying to play bodyguard at the moment. Actually, that's the Ornhorn. Hold that
yeah, call the Forge Guard. Gotta gaze in there. Able to land the Searing Charge as well. And that's going to be a solo kill for the Small Nut in the top side. And that's really unfortunate. Cosmic Sheepo did get the first blood, but never had a chance to spend that gold. So because of that, the Small Nut was in a much stronger spot. But either way, both sides, they're grouping around this Mountain Drake. And it looks like Saucy Hunt wants to go for this. Steel Bandage Toss is available. 700 HP. And I guess they're just spectating. But that's going to be the first dragon going over to Fruits.
Didn't really have... that's a level 6 Wargeyser.
But Realm of Death is going to get popped. The Small Nut out of mana as well. Going to be in a very dangerous spot and just trying to walk away. Will actually dodge quite a few skill shots, but it doesn't matter. But instead, right now, Winter just going to be fighting on a Go-Go Scorpion. Same story, just nowhere really to go. Just a few more autos necessary, and that's going to be the feat of Warfare. Going the way of Silversong Fruits, and just kind of winning all over the map besides the Small Nut going down there.
Yeah, just besides that, one kill going over to Small Nut earlier. That was a solo kill, followed by a solo kill in the mid lane by Tector as well. That was really close. And then the third kill, just Go-Go just being, I think, just slightly too far forward. I don't think Saucy could have answered. It ends up getting collapsed on and dying as well, giving over that feat. So right now, I mean, the gold lead is small for sure, but small advantages are where this game is determined. Those small advantages here and there. Chong is walking into Winter.
May have walked a little bit too far. Banish Toss going to get dodged away. So at the very least, Winter not gonna get hit by that fourth shot and get stunned up. That could have definitely been bad. Now Chong Samo still gonna be walking up. Winter ready to trade again. The Ice Wall is gonna be there. And Bandage Toss and Crunch of the Sad Bobby lands on it too. And Radiant Volley going over top. Tector gonna be the first to go down. The Small Nut now in the middle of everyone. Call of the Forge Guard still not available. But they do have the stun. They do have the Glacier.
They might be able to.
Yeah, concussive blows are going to be there. And it's just going to be the Small Nut going down. And now Winter's going in. But the Bandage Toss is going to go wide. With the Call of the Pack, they're just going to be able to get away. But that's a 2-for-0 in favor of Team Pengu. And that should also be the Void Grubs going in their favor.
It was a little goofy, I think, there from Silversong Fruits. Just a little awkward play. I mean, the Small Nut came in from the side, but I just think that Team Pengu were just a little more organized on the play there. Now, unfortunately, they do lose the Void Grubs, so there's that. Those do end up going over. They are a little ahead now in terms of gold, a couple of kills going over, or rather, really just the two, I believe. So with that, I mean, Pengu, feeling pretty good about that play. They're going to be looking towards this Drake, I think, in the next 2.5 minutes. Or because the Anivia has no flash.
Next target, and will be able to land the Bandage Toss. And now they have the Solar Snare over top. And assuming no Anivia, this should be the kill. And that is going to be Tector going down. There's now Cosmic Sheepo also trading a little bit of the top side. But another good pickoff for Team Pengu.
Interesting. So I'm holding my breath. I'm not getting my hopes up as of yet. Right now, we do have a CS lead in the bottom, and we have a plate lead as well, as the ultimate's just been popped.
Yeah, the Hunt is going to get popped, and that's going to be the flash forced out of Griffin. I mean, if that Winter's Bite did land, I think Griffin just flat out goes down. The explosive charge was already used on that turret. But, I mean, this is, I believe, going to be a pretty solid gold lead for Aliver right now, because once again was able to just free hit there. Yeah, about 300 gold for the Tristana. That's pretty decent, and the scaling is definitely going to be there for Aliver as well.
Because a really strong Tristana is going to be an absolute force to reckon with. And I like to refer to that champion as the low elo stomper. For context, I have peak gold. So, and that champion usually just runs games for whatever reason. So if we get the chance to see Elever kind of just go crazy as Winter is walking on a ward right now, they're still here, but there's not really much engaged to go on, so they will have the opportunity to back away. Griffin was trying to bait a little bit, but they should be completely aware of this play. Now, Amumu is not here, is on the other side of the map, actually coming down to the bottom lane right now, going towards their blue buff. So if Winter stays around, we could see a potential 3v3. We're going to put it that Leandries is also done on this Amumu, so very, very strong. Rylai's done on the Mordekaiser, so able to kind of keep people in range all the time. So we're at a point where Pengu are starting to get to their breakpoints, and that's what we want to see. We want to see them get to those breakpoints. Now, what we need to see from them is to not make any mistakes coming into the mid game, rather, because about this point in the previous game, as Amumu is here, they don't know. There's 4 people down here.
Yeah, Ailover and Griffin could be in a bad spot, and now they're going to have Curse of the Sad Mommy and Glacial Fissure, and now Wish comes through, but it doesn't matter. The damage from Go-Go Scorp is more than enough, and it's another 2-0 for Team Pengu, and Dragon's up in 20.
Nah, hold on. No. There's no reason that Bandit Toss should have hit. That absolutely lollipopped to the moon. From what I saw, my word, just Saucy just on point with those. It secures them the 2 kills. I think it got a couple of plates as well. The Dragon is alive in 2 seconds, so they will be on this second Drake. We're split 1-1 for Drakes again, but I think Pengu are starting to pick up the tempo a little bit. They're almost 3,000 gold ahead. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, and then they definitely have what it takes.
Does land another Bandage Toss, gonna get dodged away by Call of the Pack from Winter.
Your ADC's not here.
Yeah, but it does look like they want to fight. Ailover could, in theory, try and flank this, but it is dangerous flanking alone as Chongsalmo takes a lot of damage.
Okay, this is
it does go the way of Team Pengu, and now Ailover is in position, but the exhaust is going to keep Chongsalmo alive, but Chicken Bomba takes so much damage, and now Go-Go Scorp is going to be the target. Saucy Hunt just needs to try to get away. That is a shutdown going the way of Tector, but Winter could keep going, gonna charge right in, and will get the kill on the Chong. And now Chicken Bomba actually flashing in just to get the stun. As now, the Bandage Toss will land though, and with that, Winter will go down. So Chicken Bomb and Saucy Hunt, at the very least, they'll be able to take 1 back. It's a 2-for-1 so far, and it looks like it's going to remain that way. But that's still priority going towards Ailover, but that was Dragon going over to Team Pengu.
Yeah, 2-for-1 at the end of the day, but the Drake goes over to Team Pengu. That I think you're completely okay with. Now, granted, the gold lead is shrinking, so there's that as well. One thing I found really interesting was that that Eliver was going for a flank there, and they were pretty close. There's no shot they don't get the tower plate. That's a tragedy. But they were really, really close to coming up with a successful flank. I think if Chong was just a little lower, they get the kill, but they were exhausted immediately. We're pausing, but we're actually going to be back in the game here in a second. So never mind. That was a bait, which means in real time they were probably paused for a hot second. Oh no! All right, games.
Well, let's not panic yet.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now let's not panic about this next thing that's about to happen in a few seconds either. We are gonna have a little blip. But Chongsalmo actually walking forward, just looking towards Griffin as Ailover was right next to him. I don't think he knew. But yeah, either way, so no one's going to be going down there. Turret plating will be falling soon as well. We are about to hit that 14-minute mark, and it could be a pretty big moment. Because now Chicken Bomb is going to be able to deal some damage. And this is the blip that I was talking about. But I'm wondering if they're going to go for this dive because Griffin is in a good spot, is able to land it. But now Ailover is in the area, and it looks like Chicken Bomb is not going to go through with this. I think that's the right call. They definitely lose, but Rocket Jump going to get popped. And I think that's just to zone them off the turret. So no one's going to go down. Just a lot of aggressive posturing without any fight.
Hey, so fun fact about that pink ward, that was there in the previous fight and was just never taken. So it was there the whole time. So Tector recalled on it, I believe. So if they took that, then maybe this play was doable. Granted, there was a pink in the Otacon pit. But still, I mean, sometimes it's those little micro things.
Is getting targeted, and so that's interesting. You can reflect the stun, but you need that second cast of it for most situations. So it's still not going to be casting it. I didn't consider that. But now Ailover actually taking a decent amount of autos, but now Go-Go Scorp as well will get hit by the Flash Frost. Just needs one more Frostbite or just a couple more autos, not even needed. That's going to be a solo kill in the mid lane. Tector really doing quite well on this bird.
I have to say, in the 1v1, Tector has been pretty much doing better, but we're going to dive the bottom lane. It's going to be really
with
hard,
the explosive charge, they might be able to just take this down, but Hound's Pursuit is
Nice
going to get popped. The
shield.
Hunt gonna get used defensively. And the turret actually dealt quite a bit of damage, but in the end, no one's going to go down.
I don't know why we're diving that when Silver has almost her item and can wave clear really well. If they had the hard CC to be able to, you know, take them down, then I could see that. But you don't have that with these three champions that are here. Winter making a return play. I think this wave should just be clear, but we're popping the ultimate right now.
Yeah, they're looking for this fight. Griffin takes so much damage, but they are able to force down the first turret.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if that was the call. They just wanted that explosive charge used, but Chong Selmo able to kind of keep that from hitting the turret with the Unbreakable. But in the end, 3 versus 2, if you have enough waves, you're just going to be able to get whatever you want.
And the Rift Herald was being done on the other side of the map. That would have actually, believe them, secured the feats of monster slaying. But with first tower going down, that does mean that Silversong, fruits end up with the feats of strength, so they have secured those. The gold is pretty much like 7 high. It's arguably pretty even. I mean, it's just coming down to individual matchup leads at this point. That was a little disrespectful. We're not going to let my man's build a lane like that. But speaking of items, we have a lot of first items coming across the board. We're close to second items as well. We're almost to 2 items on this Anivia. I'm assuming that is going to be a Leandri's coming in next on top of that Malignance. And then you have the Blackfire Torch as well. 80 carry is sitting on like an item and a half right now. With that first tower from earlier, I mean, oh my god, why can't I say bottom laner's name and why do I keep getting it wrong? I'm so sorry. Yeah. Ooh, you know what? Really bad topic change. Have you ever seen the movie Oliver and Company?
No.
It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it right now after this game. Now. But back to League of Legends. Right now, we're kind of just posturing over this Cloud Drake. It will be the first Drake of the game, of the Soul, rather, for either of these teams. So we're far away from a Soul. It's not really going to happen. Now, the thing is I don't think Silversong Fruits should fight right now. You're orange top side. You don't have all the members that you know.
TP is going to be coming in. And now it looks like the fight has to break out sooner rather than
I don't
later.
like this fight at all.
And Silversong Fruits, they're dealing quite a bit of damage to Chong Solmo, but that's already going to be the Dragon going down. Now Texture has the flank, but no one's able to walk forward. Call of the Forge God can't be used while Unbreakable is still available. So just makes it very difficult to get that engage started. So that's a TP use, but Team Pengu just coming out on top in that trade anyway.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't like the fact that Fruits wanted to fight there. I'm not a fan of that because they really don't have engage. Except just the Orin Horn. And Orin TPing late meant that they couldn't start the fight when they wanted to, so they just had to give up the Drake. They tried to make something happen after the fact, but the Silver Ultimate, got them all out, and just the wall was just short and catching out the jungler. And I don't even think if they had caught out the Amumu that they could have really done anything anyways. There's so much turn on the other side that it would have been really hard to fight through that. And I honestly am glad that they didn't go for that fight, because I think it would have been a disaster for the side of Silversong Fruits.
Yeah, I'm guessing they thought they could be in that area first. And Texture did have a really good flank. And this Anivia is quite strong, like you mentioned right before the fight started. So if they were able to get some kind of value from there, just able to land one of those Flash Frost, maybe they could have followed up on it. But the way the positioning ended up, there was definitely no way they could start the fight. But over on the top side, there definitely is a Saucy Hunt looking towards the small nut. Will flash away. Another bandage toss is going to be coming out soon. The turret is already there, though. Yeah. The small nut with the Dangan is going to be able to back away. But now Go-Go Scorp going to be trading with Winter. And now just needs one more volley. Almost enough. And yes, Go-Go Scorp gonna have the damage. That Golden Eclipse dealing more than enough to take down this Nefiri.
That did more than
now Chong Selmo, Flash Frost not gonna land. It actually breaks onto that shield, but Saucy Hunt is here and will force the flash from Texture and the rocket jump from Aeliver. But Chong gonna be on the other side of the wall, so we'll be okay. And yeah, just action going across every single lane right now. Shigen Bama also takes so much damage from Aeliver. Those auto attacks are really starting to hurt.
Yeah, once that Flicker Blade's done, this is going to be a lot less fun for the Sivir, as this might be a caught Amumu.
Yeah, Saucy Hunt gonna get knocked up by the Searing Charge. but should be able to just back away for now. In fact,
Uh-oh.
bandage toss to go
Mordekaiser.
aggro. Griffin also could be the target. Cosmic Sheepo is there to just let them back away safely, though.
Lots of interesting moments have been happening over the course of this mid game, I have to say. We haven't really been fighting much. It's been kind of doing turret standoffs right now. That's kind of what's been going on now. Obviously, individual skirmishes from earlier. I just think that Winter was just not ready for the amount of damage that Mel had. Also, because she had flash that helped a lot as well. That was the 1.5 items that she had, and I think Winter was at like a quarter health when she pressed R, and he just died. That was some hot dogs that were created right there. So, interestingly, I think Goku can play a huge factor in some of these fights as the game goes on, as another tower just ends up falling. I believe it was the bot lane tier 1 that ended up falling. Now, we're at an impasse right now where this Cloud Soul is going to be very, very, very good for the side of Team Pengu if they can secure it. But we're getting the Rift Herald charge. I'm assuming going mid. Yep, that's where it's going to end up going. Should just go ahead and take this tower down. Not really too much should come out of it as a result.
Soul might be a bit far up after, though. But yeah, they're not going to go in on it. But yeah, with this, they should definitely be able to just muscle down this mid lane turret. And that's going to open up quite a bit of the map for them. And they will just back away. That'll give them the priority for when the dragon spawns.
My only, like I said, my beef with this comp right now for Silversong is they have no engage except the Oranhorn. Look what you have on the other side. A Mumu that immediately out engages their entire team comp. Braum also on the other side as well, and you even have did that on a red buff. Oh, they were anticipating them walking that way. I think they're wondering if they're doing it, and we're about to find out.
Might be walking it a bit too far up. So that's how the hunt's gonna get used, and the bandage toss will land. Curse of the Sad Mummy not gonna get utilized yet, and actually trying to get in the middle of everyone. So it's still being held, and now Chong able to get the Glacial Fissure out of 3. Wish coming out just to keep them alive. The Tector dealing so much damage on the backline. Same with Aeliver, and now the Oranhorn is gonna be coming through, not gonna get utilized too much. And it's just gonna be an absolute shredder. Right now, Aeliver, a couple more autos. Cosmic Sheepa will go down. And it's an ace. It's a 5-for-1 in favor of Silversong Fruits.
They funneled themselves into a choke, into an Anivia. No! Oh, man. Oh, I wish I could, like, draw what happened, but, like, where that pink brush is, where that pink ward in the brush is, they kind of set themselves up to kind of corral themselves into an Anivia ultimate. They were taking so much shred damage, and just once Tristana was able just to start dishing out that deeps, the triple kill at the end of the play, it turned everything in favor of Silversong Fruits. That gives them the Drake. They got the Otacon up that as well. That was a 5-for-1, so that pretty much blew open the gold lead in their favor now. It's about 1,500. 22 minutes into this game, I thought we were in for a slow burner, but no. Fruits finally putting the pedal to the metal.
And once again, the gold just going in all the right places. It's Tector and it's Aeliver. Both of them are quite strong. Almost a 2k gold lead just in that bot lane. 600 gold in the mid lane, because again, GoGoScorp has also been playing really well in those team fights. It's just the Tector managed to get a pretty solid lead just in that lane phase. Granted, in that last team fight, Tector was definitely the MVP that kind of caused all of that to go towards Silversong Fruits.
Oh man, just Anivia and choke points, man. What can you really do? Is everybody just go forward here? Nope, never mind. Not gonna end up going forward. Oh, we're going forward.
Though, Rocket Jump is gonna get used. Winter's Bite not going to land. So Aeliver going to be able to back away. Griffin will have that extra movement speed as well. Starfall not going to go through. But oh, for a second I thought that was the Death Realm use. I don't know why. I guess it was just a little shadow effect going off the back of Cosmic Sheepo.
There's a lot of people moving the top side right now.
Yeah, they're really getting ready. Winter's Bite is going to land, but again, the Searing Charge just going to be able to get the Small Nut back to safety as the Bandage Toss does land. But do you want to be here, Saucy Hunt? Just needs to try and walk away and won't get punished for it. Luckily, it was just Winter and Griffin, but that could definitely have been quite a bit worse. But interestingly enough, there's no mid laner. Saucy Hunt going to be able to land Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3. Now they have Breakable going to prevent the Oranhorn. But now no damage coming through yet. Saucy Hunt able to find under the backline, but Aeliver throwing them into the backline. And now with that, Saucy Hunt is going to be targeted by Winter. But Cosmic Sheepo just trying to split up the fight right now, and both carries are in the front line. Chunk Sabo trying to buy some space, but the Zonjas is going to get popped, and Aeliver now jumping through, Goomba stopping. That's 2, and now Goloscorp gonna be the 3rd, and it's just Cosmic Sheeple left alive. And that's going to be it. That's a 5-0. Ace going the way of Silversong Fruits.
I thought for a hot moment there that Fruits might have just overstepped just slightly too far. They actually get this ace right as the Baron is spawning. So this will be the Baron as well. They're just going to melt through this thing. And I have to say Silversong Fruits are in firm control of this game right now. They're feeling real good at keeping that momentum going from the previous game. They're going to balloon this goal lead even more, and they might even break open the base.
I mean, it's definitely looking solid right now. That 2k gold lead in the bot lane, it's now 3.5. That's more than a full completed item advantage for Aegis. This is going to be so difficult. And you talked about this earlier. The Sivir needs multiple items to be strong. Still only at 2.25. If you can call the Executioner's Blade even a quarter of an item.
Yeah.
I mean, this is starting to look pretty dire for Team Pengu. I think the one hope they can have is maybe Goloscorp just landing a massive burst onto Aegis or Griffin, but even so, I think it'll be difficult.
I wonder how much healing Griffin has done right now. Because I was also about to comment that we don't have too much heal cut right now. We have the Thorn, or the Bramble Vest rather, which is pretty common on the Mordekaiser anyways. But the Executioner's calling coming through as well. And that's really the only heal cut that I'm seeing right now. I mean, and if the Sivir or this Mordekaiser can't get close to like any of these meaningful targets, as Small Net just got a solo kill, I guess, in the bottom lane. So I guess that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a team effort, though, but I mean, with that, the upgrades, by the way, are also starting to come through. The Yuntal Blade has been upgraded, and it looks like everyone's been upgraded except for Winter. So that's going to be a lot of extra value coming out. It's a 6k goldie, but it's actually more than that just because of the ornaments. Now, they are going to try and get that objective down to the top side, but they're losing their tier 3 for it. They're losing more, and right now they do have the Orn Horn available if they do want to go for it, but they don't see the need to start a fight. They're just gonna get that free turret in the bot lane, and they're just gonna turn their attention up into that mid lane.
That's kind of why I'm not really a fan of that call there to push for the tier 2 when your base is currently being sieged. This is a Tristana we're talking about, which, as we're looking right now, is dishing out a lot of damage because that's just how strong she is. That's 3-item Tristana. Now, what we should be doing right now, that's the wish that was just used, we should be chilling because we do have Drake coming up in the next, like, 18 seconds. I don't think we should, like, do too much. We should let Tector just keep bringing this top wave in. Bot lane's going to push on its own, but we're getting on the hunt.
Oh, and yeah, they're looking to start the fight. Griffin gonna get hit with a bandage toss. Curse of the Sad Mummy just onto this rocket, but that's all the healing gone. And now Saucy taking so much damage from Aegis. Aegis just free hitting in the back line, but so is Chicken Bomb and so is Goloscorp. Aegis jumping in, but gonna get hit by the bandage toss at the same time. And we'll get the reset on the rocket jump. The barrier is coming through, but Chicken Bomb has more than enough damage to win it out. And now Tector on the back line, not going to get hit by that solar snare, and is gonna try to back away. And I think with this positioning should be able to. But that is a one team fight for Team Pengu. It's a 3-for-2, but the HP bar is also definitely in their favor.
We got a little greedy for the base, I see. We were just on the map just a little too long. I'm going to just casually throw out there. We needed to reset, or not really even really fully reset, but once the bot lane inhibitor was broken, we needed to just back off, maybe reset, and get ready for Drake. Now, we might be lucky enough to where Winter gets here in time and takes this, because there's still 4 seconds on the Amumu, and it'll take about 15 to 20 to get here anyways. So they should still get this. That's actually a great vision toggle. Thank you. But we're getting the TPs coming in.
Yeah, it looks like another fight is about to break out. Cosmic Sheeple actually getting zoned away pretty hard just from this Glacial Storm. But lots of poke going down for both ways. Saucy Hunt still isn't here, but neither is Aegis. So this should just be the Dragon going the way of Silversong Fruits. Without the jungler there, it's just too hard to contest for Team Pengu. And again, because their jungler is also their main engage. So at the very least, I'm happy they gave it away instead of trying to force something.
Also, yeah, they used both TPs to go for that play as well. In my head, I was thinking we were in for an absolute masterclass of a 4v4. But I think it is the right call. Your jungler's not there. You're not going to be able to get this dragon. We are still trying to get this tower as we don't have Baron anymore, which I think is interesting.
Saucy Hunt gonna get Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 4. And now Agdivia in the middle of everyone gonna be shut down. Now Chicken Bomb gonna get targeted by Winter, but the Solar Eclipse is gonna land. And just like that, the damage is there now. Now they're gonna continue chasing They have the small nut. Then one more hit, and that's going to be the stun. And with that, they should be able to follow up. A little bit of lag there, but small nut still going to be in the area, going to flash over the wall, but bandage toss instead going to land onto Aelver. And now the exhaust is there as well, but they don't have enough roots. They don't have enough CC. They're still aiming towards the ore, and the small nut just living forever as Chong goes down to that explosive charge. And Aelver could just come in, go back in. Has the rocket jump. They do have the silence, and that's going to be it for the fight. But I mean, at the end of the day, that was just a 2-for-1, but what a close 2-for-1.
Yeah, it was a close 2-for-1, and we, once again, were being greedy. We didn't have Baron buffs, so I'm not entirely sure why we felt the need to be up that close to their base with, the tower. I mean, maybe they thought they could end up getting it. But once again, just too far forward. Tector gets absolutely blown up, mind you. So just with that, a lot of their DPS is gone, and they just have to peel back. They have to keep peeling back. Now, the good news is the Tristana was not impacted by that fight at all. Who just, mind you, just got Lord Doms, which is why you heard me saying, "Hey, Tristana kills everybody here." So I'm surprised they didn't turn the fight sooner. Maybe that's just restraint, and they just we could potentially throw the game off of this. So maybe that's the better call that they decided to go for. Now you still have the bottom lane pushing right now, and maybe another minute and a half, I would think, or two, to for the grub or for the super. Oh my lord! Okay, that's a weird interaction. But I meant for super minions, for the inhibitor to come back up in a minute or so. Baron is spawning on the map right now, so both teams are going to be here in this area. I pray we are not about to 50-50 a Baron here, because I've seen some pretty crazy things, and we could be in for a potential banger.
Yeah, that's the difference between play-by-play and colorcaster, because I would love to see them flip it, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening right now. The small nut still trying to zone away. Same with the Glacial Storm coming out from Tector, but the Flash Frost isn't going to land. Ornhorn is coming out on top, but they're able to cancel it. Now Small Nut sitting in the front. Saucion coming in from the back line, but Searing Charge hits on to 4. And Small Nut they're able to take down Saucion. Cosmic Sheepo is in the death room, but should go down immediately afterwards, as Aelver just looking for more and more kills. And that's just going to be a 4-for-0. They're not going to end the game, but they are going to take that Baron for themselves, as there is a wave on that bottom inhibitor at the same time. Gogoscorp might be able to keep it alive for now, but huge team fight coming in for the Silversong Fruits.
I think if they kill Gogo, maybe they end the game there. We're pinging a couple of TPs, but I would assume we're going to open definitely do a lot more damage to the base. We're getting the TP right now out of Tector, going to open up that inhibitor. They should open up this tower as well. It should be at least 2 inhibitors, as the top tier 2 is still alive. There is a universe where maybe they decide to keep going forward. I wouldn't think so, but it looks like they just might.
I mean, Cosmic Sheep still down for 10 seconds. They are quite strong, as Tector still looking to zone them away. They have these Baron up minions, and Aelver absolutely shreds through this. And look at Saucy Hunt just getting deleted. Aelver can jump in now. We'll get hit by the Glacial Fissure, but there's no danger there. And because of that, that's it. That's all she wrote. What a quadra kill! Not how I expected that to end, but that's still going to be game number 2 and the series going the way of Silversong Fruits. And what was that explosive charge at the end? I'm sorry, but that just completely threw me off.
Again, I have stream open on my second monitor. There was the explosive charge onto the Mordekaiser. Ended up walking into the base, grouping up with 3 people, and just boom, free quadra kill. So, hey, those are fun little endings, and that means that Silversong Fruits win the series tonight, 2-0. I think overall they just played the fights better, and they played they played to their limits a lot better as well. Because I feel like that Team Pengu, they had their good moments. Obviously, we saw it in both games. They had good moments in both games, but there would be just some mistakes that they would make, which they kind of capitalized on their own as well. But it just wasn't enough, just with the way that things were going, and just the absurd bot lane lead that we saw as well. And that's what you wanted of your bot laner, and Silversong are your victors for tonight, and they win their first match of the split. So honestly, good on them.
Yeah, and in a 2-0 fashion as well. Granted, it was against Team Pengu, which, as much as I hate to say it, they were kind of put in the bottom of the power rankings at the start of the season, and right now they're 1-4 in terms of map score. So very possible they are going to end up down there. But I mean, they still put up a good fight today. Like you said, they showed a lot of life in a lot of those fights. especially in those early to mid games. I think they play those quite well. They just
Yeah.
start falling apart in the late game. They just take some fights they shouldn't, or they overstep when they shouldn't. It's very small fixes. So I think they could become a pretty solid team once they make those minor adjustments.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. So obviously back to the drawing board for Team Pengu. Their matchup next week, just for giggles, let's actually take a look. Let's see who they're playing next week. So I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. Looks like next week they will be playing a Summit Esports Arctic Warfare, who I believe they beat Silversong last week, funny enough.
Yeah.
And they're currently on a bye, so they're not playing this week. So they're gonna be coming off of a team that's fresh off of a bye, so that could be very interesting. It will be another hard matchup, but I think with those little bit of cleanups that you mentioned, that they should be able to make something out of that, and they'll have their starting support next week, I would imagine, as well. So with that, I think they could definitely do some damage in these standings.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see next week, but for tonight, we are done here. Absolutely entertaining series. It was a 2-0, but that was a fun 2-0 to watch.
That was fun.
So,
yeah.
So with that, we are done here for today on the Aegis Executioners League. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I was TokiB, and joining me once again is DBZ Freak. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.